What's up everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day and a great week. We're finally having sun around here and it came just in time for yoga on the hill. I had a video I wanted to show you guys, but there was a glitch on Instagram and so I lost it. So I have to wait until next Wednesday to go back on the hill and do it again and share the experience with you guys. If you're ever in Ottawa, where I'm from, on a summer on a Wednesday, come do yoga on the hill. It's amazing. Anyway, let's jump into what happened on Teen Mom OG season 10 episode 1. Ryan is out of rehab, a 90-day stint, and so Maci and her husband Taylor still do have an order of protection out against him. Remember, while he was like still high and all of that, he made threats, to Taylor that he would put a bullet in his head, allegedly, which is what we saw last season. And so they got an order of protection out against him. That is still in effect, so they cannot speak directly. But Ryan does try to set up a meeting between himself and Maci off the records. And he asks his wife Mackenzie to do it just so that he can apologize for all of the trouble that he caused. Meanwhile, in Michigan, Catelynn and Tyler's 30-day trial separation has come to an end and they chose not to renew their subscription. And while they were separated, Nova lived full-time with Catelynn, and you can just see it in her eyes how much she loved finally being the one to care for her daughter full-time.
10 times how much attention she needs. It's nonstop.
Next, we head down to LA and learn all about how Cheyenne played the entire hell out of herself, dumping her boyfriend Zach for Cory. Cory strung her along for a little bit, but for the most part told her that he did not want to commit. He was not ready to settle down and commit. And she kept trying to convince us that like he was just shy about it, that they were gonna end up together. And it turns out that he was ready to commit, just not to her, because he does have a girlfriend who's a woman that he's been on and off with for, a couple of years now. So far, I like Cheyenne. Like, I'm kind of indifferent to her, but like this one scene of hers, she put me all the way off. She sounded just like Petty Betty with the whole possessive, like over the children thing. Like, just take a look to see what I mean.
If I don't want someone around my kid, they're not going around my kid. The same way that if you don't want someone around your kid, then I have to respect that.
I've talked about this. I said the minute I bring somebody into Ryder's life, you're gonna have a problem with it.
No, it's not that person. It's not that. Okay, you're not gonna scream in front of the baby, so calm down.
The whole I'm the big boss of everyone who's around the kid, like it's my child. I decide when, yes, no, all of that. Like, yeah, like there should be rules around like when you introduce significant others to your children. But Cheyenne's got a whole lot of nerve, considering she spent like the first 6 months of Ryder's life trying to pass her off as some other man's child and living with this other man as well. Like calm the F down there. I honestly think that something like 90% of her actual issues with this woman being around Ryder is the fact that Cory strung her the hell along and played her on national television. Next up in Indiana, Amber quickly realized that Teen Mom 2 pays a little bit more than welfare, so she decided to sign on for a 10th season of sharing her inspirational story and talents with us.
I'm sitting on my couch like I usually do.
Absolutely amazing. So she sits there and whines with her cousin Crystal about how negative comments on social media affect her to the point where she thinks she's going to have another mental breakdown over what she's seeing online. But, unfortunately, negative comments are just a part of social media and internet in general, especially when you are a public figure. So I personally feel like if that's something that you cannot handle, then log the hell off. It's not mandatory to be on there. If you can afford 2 grown-ass sugar baby boyfriends, then you can afford a personal assistant, a social media manager, heck, even your cousin Crystal to go through your stuff for you so that you can still interact with your fans and just not have to be exposed to the negative stuff. These women truly have become insufferable, like with their first world ass problems. Like there's modern day slavery in India and Libya. 24 million Yemenis are starving to death and like the worst hunger crisis in the world, but we're supposed to feel bad because some grown ass pushing 30 rich for nothing woman cannot keep off social media, her one job in life. Really? Meanwhile, in Michigan, Tyler goes out to play pool with the same friend he vented about wanting to divorce Kate with and reveals that their trial separation wasn't much of a separation at all. He and Kate actually saw each other basically every day. We get a couple of filler scenes here and there, and then Tyler returns back home and his mom, Kim, shows up for her annual Kate dragging duties. So they all sit down at the kitchen table and she proceeds to talk about Kate in front of Kate, but without Kate.
So you guys are back here all together. Everything's hunky-dory. Peaches and cream. And you guys are still going to counseling, right? So you guys are going to do all that stuff after the baby comes too, right? And of course, after the baby's born, you don't want to be careful with the postpartum thing again. No more faking, walking around with eggshells. Yeah.
And speaking of trash talking, we then are back on Amber's couch where she, this time, is talking about her Pulitzer Prize winning video essay about domestic violence and why she's against it in regards to Teen Mom 2 star Jenelle Evans's allegedly abusive relationship with her husband David Eason.
Number times 10 from back in the day came out and I was on my hook. Going crazy.
Jenelle, you say anything about me again, I see your ass, I'll bust your ass. I'm a real G. You're nothing. How about that? I'm a real bitch. What the are you? You think I want attention, you ugly?
Stay off drugs and stay in school, kids. She then proceeds to apologize to all three of her fans and pretends that she's a changed woman, except literally in the exact same scene, her baby daddy, Andrew, is trying to defend her honor despite the fact that she's indefensible and irredeemable. And he's explaining her psyche, and she just has a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde moment where her mind just flips and she snaps at this guy.
I can see the thought pattern, it's like a snowball effect. You say one bad thought comes in, and it's bam, 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 and then all of a sudden you're up and
or it's just
furious.
Me who grew up beating a lot of ass, and when you start talking, and that's what we did. Okay,
yeah,
so that's all I have to say to you that grew up in Malibu. Okay, so let's not go there.
But you also don't need to it's not your
so
job.
Now today I'm not like
life,
that anymore. So I think you're being really rude about some. So just stop right now.
Did she remind anybody else of Farrah from Teen Mom OG in that moment? And let's get into that deadly side eye that she served Andrew literally for sticking up for her. We are back down in Tennessee again, where Ryan is fresh out of his 90-day rehab stint, and like I told you guys, he's taking his sobriety extremely seriously this time around.
Can I get a Bud Light with that? I just want a beer with my steak. Can I have a drink?
Yikes, even his wife Mackenzie had to let him know that it was absolutely not a good look for him to be out here drinking. I mean, if you're gonna fall off the wagon, don't do it in public on a reality television show, dude. Mind you, before he even drank anything, Ryan looked high as a kite in the scene anyway. He pretended to miss Mac while in rehab, but we all know he was on Tinder asking women how pink they were as soon as they gave him his damn cell phone back. It's too bad that they're gonna gloss over that this entire season. But I do have to say, thank God they brought Ryan back on the show. Maci is so damn boring, and if her storyline is gonna revolve around Ryan anyway, he might as well be on the show. Meanwhile in Michigan, Catelynn and Tyler sit down and talk about how their trial separation affected her state of mind.
I think you needed time to just worry about yourself for once. But I think it was good for me, looking back on it now, realizing if he ends up wanting to divorce me, then I guess whatever. I'll be sad, but I don't need you. I can do this on my own. If you were to leave, I could be a mom and be a badass mom and not even give a
Yeah.
I want you forever, but I don't need you.
What do you guys think about Kate's claims? Do you believe that she honestly believes what she's saying, and not even that, can actually live up to what she's claiming? I personally am not quite sure I'm buying it quite yet. I want to, obviously that's what her kids deserve, but to me, Kate just does not seem like someone who is capable of being, an effective single parent. I just don't see it for her, unfortunately, but I do hope that I'm wrong. We head back to Tennessee again, where Maci goes to talk to a counselor about her feelings of dread about talking to Ryan again, and describes the kind of relationship that he has with his son Bentley.
More of an uncle relationship than father-son. I think I am, even if I don't want to be, blocking full father-son relationship. I don't trust him. I don't want to put Bentley in a situation where he gets his hopes up and gets let down.
The whole scene was incredibly emotional and moving, and you can just see it in Maci's eyes and hear it in her voice that the parting tip that the counselor gave to her really changed her entire perspective about everything.
Can I give you one little tip?
Mm-hmm.
When you're trying to help someone in their recovery, never work harder than them.
Yep, that's a really good tip.
My God, that poor counselor, he is just so expressive. His eyes are so warm and deep and open, and he's trying to gauge her responses, but Maci is a brick wall. I really can't believe this is the woman who wanted to be on television and in radio. flat as a cardboard box. Anyway, you guys, that's a recap of what went down on Teen Mom OG Season 10, Episode 1. As usual, I'm more excited to hear what you have to say about everything, so please make sure to leave all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, and we'll chat. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.